Hello students, in this class we will see the third part of the chapter surface tension. So here first we will discuss angle of contact between solid and liquid in contact, okay, and then we will see the capillary rise, okay. So first of all, what is angle of contact, okay. So angle of contact is basically defined for liquid and solid in contact. Okay, a liquid and solid in contact, then we can define angle of contact. So how will we can define it? So it is defined for a liquid and solid in contact as the angle between the tangent, okay, angle between the tangent to what? Tangent to the free surface of liquid. Where will you draw the tangent? At the free surface of liquid, and at those points to the free surface of liquid which is in contact with the solid, okay, between the tangent at the free surface of liquid, in contact with solid, okay. So we will draw the tangent at those points of liquid free surface where solid is in contact with solid, okay. So tangent at the free surface of liquid in contact with solid, and so this is one line, okay, another line will be and the solid present inside the liquid, okay. So there are two lines. First line is the tangent drawn at the free surface of liquid in contact with the solid, okay, and the solid present inside the liquid. So this is the basic definition. Now I am drawing one diagram so that you can understand it properly. So I am drawing basically two diagrams. One is for glass and water surface, and another is for mercury and water in contact, okay. So first of all, this is a container, okay, this is a container, clear. Here one glass rod is kept inside the water. Here water is there. So water surface will look like this, okay. Water surface, free surface of water will look like this, okay. That means concave up. So here suppose you want to find the angle of contact at this point, okay. So how will you find? So we will draw tangent at this point which is in contact with solid. So this is the tangent, okay, this is tangent, and another line will be solid present inside the liquid. So this is the solid present inside the liquid, okay. So this angle is called angle of contact, theta, okay. This is the angle of contact, theta. Suppose you want to draw at this point, okay, then draw tangent, and this is the solid present inside the liquid. So this angle is the angle of contact. So this is for which case? For water glass, okay. This is for water glass. So here if you look at the angle, you can understand that here angle of contact is less than 90 degree, right? Here theta is less than 90 degree, or you can tell it is acute, okay. Clear. Another diagram I am drawing for mercury glass, okay, mercury glass. So this is a container where mercury is there, okay. There you can draw the water, okay, this is the water, clear students, okay. this is water. So here mercury. Okay, again I am inserting a glass plate or glass tube. Okay, in case of mercury, how it will look like? It will look like this. Okay, it will look like this. Clear? This is the mercury. This is the mercury. So at this point you want to draw the angle of contact. So draw tangent, tangent. Okay, and the solid present inside the liquid. This is the solid present inside the liquid. So this is the angle. This is the angle of contact. You want to draw at this point. So draw tangent, tangent, and this is the solid present inside the liquid. So this is the angle of contact. Clear? So this is basically for mercury glass. Clear? For mercury glass, this angle of contact is almost 140 degree. And for this one, glass water, it is almost 8 degree. Okay? So here you can see it that this theta is greater than 90 degree in this case, or you can tell it is obtuse. Okay? So if you are asked to draw angle of contact for water glass, you will draw in this way. Okay? Here you can write that this is the angle, this one, this is the tangent. You can mention this tangent at the free surface of liquid which is in contact with solid. Okay, and this is the solid inside the liquid. Clear? Clear? So these are two diagrams. Okay, now come to different points related to this angle of contact. What will happen if theta is less than 90 degree? What will happen if theta is greater than 90 degree? Okay, now I am coming to different points. Okay, so the different points related to angle of contact. First point is the angle of contact depends on the nature of liquid and the nature of solid in contact. Okay, so it depends on nature of liquid and nature of solid in contact. Okay. Second point, this angle of contact will also depend on the medium present above the free surface of liquid. Okay, it also depends on the nature of medium present above the free surface of liquid. Okay, clear? Now come to the third point. This angle of contact does not depend on the inclination of the solid. Okay, if this is here, water is there, suppose. Now you have inclined this container. Okay, like this. You have inclined. Okay, so its angle of contact, value of angle of contact will not change if the medium present above the free surface, so nature of solid and liquid is same. Okay, so it is independent of the inclination of the container. It is independent of the inclination of the container. Okay, clear? Point number 4. The angle of contact will remain same until the nature of liquid, solid and the medium present above the free surface of liquid are same. Okay, so it will remain, or it is unchanged until the liquid, solid in contact and medium above the free surface of liquid are same. Okay, point number 5. Now come to the thing where liquid will weight the container or not. Okay, so in case of water glass, the water will weight the container. Okay, so if angle of contact is less than 90 degree, that means angle of contact is acute. Okay, then it will weight the container. Okay, so angle of contact is less than 90 degree or acute, then what will happen? The liquid will weight the container. Okay, and point number 6, if it is greater or obtuse, then it will not weight, like mercury glass. Mercury will not weight the container. So if angle of contact theta greater than 90 degree, that means obtuse, okay, then the liquid will not weight the container. Okay, so these are the 6 points. Another 2 points is there related to their change with temperature and change with any other material when it is dissolved in the liquid. Okay, any soluble material is dissolved in the liquid, then what will happen? So another 2 points I am writing here. Clear? I am erasing these points. So point number 7. Angle of contact increases with increasing temperature. Okay, angle of contact increases with increasing temperature. And point number 8, angle of contact decreases when a soluble material is dissolved in the liquid. Okay, like salt, okay, like sugar. When these kind of materials are dissolved in water, okay, then its angle of contact will decrease. Clear? So these are the few points related to angle of contact, and the definition and the diagram, okay, how to draw the angle of contact, those things are very, very important. Okay, now come to capillary rise. Okay, so I am erasing this. So students, now we will see the next part, that is capillary rise. Okay, so in capillary rise, first we will understand what is capillary tube. Okay, so capillary tube okay, so this capillary tube is basically a tube with uniform bore, okay, fine and uniform bore throughout its length. Okay, a tube with fine and uniform means same radius at any point, uniform bore throughout its length. Okay, clear? So what is this capillary rise? Capillary rise is basically when this kind of capillary tube, okay, is immersed in those kind of liquid in which case angle of contact is less than 90 degree. Okay, that is the liquid which will weight that container, which will weight that capillary tube. In those case, the liquid will goes up through the capillary tube. Okay, that is capillary rise. So you have seen different kinds of natural phenomena, like if you put your cotton cloth into water. Okay, suppose water is not filled fully in the bucket, suppose half filled bucket, and you have kept your cotton cloth. Okay, then what will you see? You will see that the water has reached through the cotton cloth by some height, okay, up to which liquid level is not there. Okay, so why this happens? This happens due to this capillary rise, because inside the cotton wools there are very fine pores are there, very fine pores which behaves like capillary tube. Okay, another example is there, if you put any cotton cloth, okay, into kerosene, okay, and you put that cloth in the lamp, then you will see that kerosene is coming automatically up to the top of that cloth. Okay, this also happens due to this capillary rise. Okay, so these things are basically explained by the property of surface tension. Okay, so capillary rise is basically one physical phenomena which can be explained by the property of liquid at rest, which is called surface tension. Okay, so we will see this up to which height the liquid level will rise. Okay, these things, this formula, how it is related to surface tension of liquid, the angle of contact with the solid and liquid, different factors are there. Okay, and it depends on the different factors. So we will see this now. So I am erasing this. Okay, so this is one capillary. This is the same capillary I have drawn twice. So first think of this capillary, then we will go to that capillary. Okay, so if you consider this capillary, and here we are taking that kind of liquid and that kind of solid which can weight, the liquid can weight the solid container. Okay, that means here angle of contact between the solid and liquid is less than 90 degree, right? That means acute angle. So here liquid will weight the container. When liquid will weight the container, then the liquid will goes up through that container. Okay, through that capillary. Okay, so we will see this why liquid rises by some distance, by some height. Okay, so first of all, this is PO. This is atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure. Okay, S is the surface tension of the liquid, and small r is the radius of capillary tube, and capital R is the radius of free surface of liquid meniscus, Okay, so note down these 4 points, because after some time I may erase. Okay, so now come to here. Okay, so this is free surface. Okay, forget about this part now. So I am taking 2 points. One is just above the free surface of liquid. Here free surface will look like concave up, right? Concave up. It will look like this, concave up, because it is water glass contact. And I am taking another point just below the meniscus. This point give name A, and this point B. Okay, another point I am taking here. Okay, just below the free surface of this liquid. This point is denoted by C. Okay, clear? Now this end is open end, open to the atmosphere. So at point A, what will be the pressure? At point A, what will be the pressure? It is open to the atmosphere. So at A, what will be the pressure? Pressure will be atmospheric pressure, PO. So PA equal to PO basically, right? At point B, what should be the pressure? It is concave up. Here P0. Okay, we know that pressure is always greater at the concave face. Okay, and it is water. Water means only one surface. Okay, so one surface means how much excess pressure? 2s by r. Okay, we have already derived about the excess pressure 2s by r when it is only one surface, one free surface. So P0 is on the concave face, pressure on the concave face, and pressure is always greater on the concave face. So at convex face, what will be the pressure? Less than by this amount. That means PO minus 2s by r. Okay, so that the pressure difference between 2 points, one is at concave face, another is at convex face. The difference will be 2s by r. At concave face, pressure will be always greater. At concave face, pressure will be always greater. Clear? So at point B, what will be the pressure? PB equal to P0 minus 2s by r. Clear up to this point? Okay, clear. Now come to point B and point C. I have taken these 2 points, point B and point C, in such a way that they are lying at the same depth from the free surface of liquid. Okay, B point at the same depth from the free surface of liquid, just below the meniscus. Okay, so if the 2 points, 2 or number of points are at the same depth from the free surface of liquid, then what will be the relation between the pressures at those points? So at point B and C, so PB and PC, what is the relation between their pressures? Because they are at the same depth from the free surface, so they will be equal. Okay, because we know the formula pressure equal to H rho g, that you have read in class 9, right? Pressure due to liquid column is H rho g. What is H? H is the depth from the free surface. So B and C are at the same depth. Okay, so B and C are almost just below the free surface of liquid. That means pressure will be atmospheric pressure. So PB equal to PC equal to basically atmospheric pressure. Okay, so at point C, if I write here C, then PC is equal to P0, and we are seeing from this concept that pressure at the same depth will be equal. So PB equal to PC equal to P0. Okay, but we are seeing here PB is P0 minus 2s by r and PC is P0. Okay, so they are not equal, right? They are not equal. When they are not equal, the pressure at point B and C are not equal. That means the liquid at this point will not be in equilibrium. Here pressure is more, here pressure is less. Okay, so the liquid, free surface of liquid will not be in equilibrium. Okay, so when it is not in equilibrium, then what will happen? It will move. Okay, it will rise or it will go down. So what will happen at point B? At point B, pressure should be P0. At point B, pressure should be P0. Okay, so how can we make it P0? If we take this free surface of liquid by some height where it can balance P0. Okay, so now come to this one. So here liquid is going up by some height. Okay, so why the liquid will go by some height? Because at the convex phase pressure is less than atmospheric pressure. There is a difference in pressure. Okay, difference in pressure between point B and C. Okay, but we know this concept, that is pressure at the same depth will be equal. Okay, for that reason the free surface of liquid at point B will not be in equilibrium, so it will go up so that it can balance the pressure at point C. Okay, now if we take another point here at the same level B, C, and another point I am taking here, give name D. So PD will be equal to what? P0. Okay, so this is suppose H. H is the height of the liquid from the free surface of liquid. Okay, H is measured from the free surface of liquid. Now the pressure due to this column plus the pressure at the convex phase, okay, will be equal to the atmospheric pressure. Both of them will balance the atmospheric pressure now, and then the free surface of liquid will be in equilibrium. Clear this concept? So I am erasing this part. So now pressure at D, what will be the pressure at D? pressure at D. So at D, PD, what will be PD? PD will be what? Pressure due to this height, that is H rho G, plus pressure just below the meniscus, at convex face. Okay, so what is the pressure at convex face? P0 minus 2S by R. Okay, this one will be there. Okay, if this is B point, then this part will be there, P0 minus 2S by R, and another pressure we are getting due to height. Now both of them, this plus this, will balance the atmospheric pressure. So now PC and PD will be equal. Clear? So from this concept we will find H. So I am erasing this part. So now PD equal to PC. PD equal to PC. So PD means what? H rho G plus P0 minus 2S by R equal to PC is what? PC is P0. Okay. So P0 cancelled out. So H rho G equal to 2S by R. What will be H? We want to find the H. H is the ascent height. To 2S by R rho G. Okay. But it is not finished yet. From this point we can get or we can conclude one thing, that I am coming after some time. Okay, so here it is not finished, because S we can measure, rho we can measure, we know, G we know, but this R is what? Radius of the free surface of liquid meniscus. Free surface of liquid meniscus means this one, radius of this meniscus. Okay, it will look like a spherical. Okay, so we will convert this R into this smaller, because smaller is the radius of the capillary tube. Okay, that is a measurable quantity. Okay, so we will convert this capital R into smaller. So how will you convert this? So if we draw a magnified image of this portion, okay, magnified image of this portion. So look at here. So this is the magnified image of only this portion, okay, only this portion, okay. So it will look like this. Clear? It will look like this. Okay. So now this is the radius of the meniscus, radius of the capillary tube. Okay, smaller. Okay. Now how will you find the radius of liquid meniscus? Radius of liquid meniscus means what? It is a concave up. Okay. So basically radius of curvature of this concave face. Okay. Concave, convex, mirror, you have read. Okay. How do you find the radius of curvature of concave and convex mirror? Because concave and convex mirror are a part of a large sphere. Okay, large sphere. So center of that sphere is the center of curvature of the convex or concave mirror, and also radius of the sphere is the radius of concave or convex mirror. So in the same way here we will draw a sphere. Okay, so suppose this is a sphere, and radius is suppose here, this is radius, a center of curvature. Okay, join this point, this is one point on the sphere, so join these 2 points, So what is this basically? This is capital R, radius of the meniscus. Okay, and this is what? This is smaller, radius of the capillary. Okay, radius of the capillary. So join this point, give name A, B and C. Okay, now we will draw another thing, that is angle of contact. So at this point we want to draw angle of contact. So how will you draw? You will draw a tangent first. Okay, and this is the solid surface inside the liquid. Okay, so this will be the angle of contact, theta. Okay, if this is theta, then this one will also be theta. Okay, this is theta means this part, this dotted part is 90 degree minus theta. Okay, so this one will be theta. Now look at the triangle ABC. We know what? We know base and we know hypotenuse, right? We know base and hypotenuse and one angle. So base by hypotenuse is what? Cos theta. That means small r by capital R equal to cos theta. So what will be capital R? Capital R will be small r by cos theta. So put that value here in place of capital R. What you will get? You will get 2s by r by cos theta into rho g. Now cos theta will go up. Cos theta will go up. So it will be 2s cos theta by r rho g. Okay, so this is the ascent formula or the height through which the liquid will go up. Okay, here we have taken that kind of liquid which will weight the container. Okay, or for which case, for that liquid and solid in contact, the angle of contact should be less than 90 degree or acute angle. So now we know all the values. S surface tension, theta angle of contact, r radius of the capillarity, rho density of the liquid, g gravitational acceleration. So from this formula we can calculate height. Okay, so basically formula is h equal to 2s cos theta by r rho g. Okay, so this is the height formula. Okay, here if we take only one kind of, or if we take a particular solid and liquid, okay, if we take particular solid and liquid, then s will be constant, cos theta will remain constant, rho is constant and g will be constant. So here if we take a particular kind of solid and liquid, nature of solid, nature of liquid are same, then we will get h is inversely proportional to the radius of the capillary tube. Okay, h is inversely proportional to the radius of capillary tube. More radius means it will go up by small distance height. Small radius means it will go up by more height. Okay, so now if you look at this formula, here we have taken that kind of liquid for which that kind of liquid and solid in contact, for which this theta is what? Angle of contact. That theta is less than 90 or acute. If theta is less than 90 or acute, then we will get cos theta positive. That means it will go up. If theta is greater than 90 or obtuse, then we will get this height negative. Then it will go down. Okay, I am writing that point here. So first point, when theta is less than 90 degree or acute angle, then liquid will go up. Okay, liquid will go up. Second, if theta is greater than 90, that means obtuse. Obtuse means cos theta will be negative. Here cos theta will be positive. In this case cos theta will be negative. So in this case liquid will go down by that height h. Okay, in this case it is called descent formula. Okay, and in case of acute angle it is called ascent formula. This happens in case of mercury glass. Okay, and this happens, you know, water glass. Clear. Now come to this point that I want to tell. There is a relation between h and r. Okay, h and r. Okay, I am erasing this point. So the formula was h equal to 2s by r rho g. Okay, if I bring this r on the left side, then it will be hr equal to 2s by rho g. Look at here, theta is not there. Okay, only s surface tension, density and gravitational acceleration. Okay, that means if we take a particular kind of liquid and solid, then the right hand side, this part will remain constant. Okay, this part is constant. That means basically HR equal to constant. Okay, HR is constant. Okay, so height of the liquid column, and the capital R is what? Capital R is not the radius of capillary. Capital R is radius of free surface of liquid meniscus. Okay, so if height increases, okay, then R will decrease. If height decreases, R will increase. Okay, from which point you will measure this? That means when the height of the capillary, I am drawing a diagram. This is liquid. Okay, suppose water will go up. Here one container is there. Okay, this is capillary. Okay, suppose up to this point liquid water is there. Okay, and it is making some angle at this free surface. Okay, capital R is some value. Okay, now I am dipping this capillary through the water, and in this case the free surface of the capillary, this surface is of the capillary becoming at this height. Okay, at this height, at this level. Then what will happen? Will the liquid flow outward, or what will happen? If I dip the capillary more inside the water, then what will happen? Okay, in this case, what will happen? So here liquid or water will not overflow. Okay, water will not overflow. In this case, this formula will be applicable. Okay, in this case, this formula will be applicable. Here height will means water height will go up to the maximum height. Okay, up to the free end of the capillary. But after that, the water will not overflow. Okay, so here what will happen? H is decreasing. This was the initial H. In this case, it is not overflowing, or it has not reached to the top of the capillary tube. In this case, it has reached to the top of the capillary tube. Okay, in this case also it is H. But after that, when I am dipping it more, then the free surface of liquid, okay, that the height of the liquid column is decreasing. Height of the liquid column is decreasing now. Now it is H prime. Where H prime is less than H, height of the liquid column has decreased. So what will happen? Will it overflow? No, it will not overflow. Okay, because in this situation what will happen? The radius of meniscus will go on increasing. Okay, as we will dip this capillary tube through the water, this height will go on decreasing. When it will go on decreasing, then capital R will go on increasing. Okay, radius of the free surface of meniscus will go on increasing. Okay, so R will increase. Okay, when this height H prime will be less than H, then R will go on increasing. And in this case, when we dip the capillary completely inside the water, so water will go up to this level, okay, which is basically the free level of the water. Okay, so in this case what will happen? In this case R will be infinity. Okay, in this case R will be infinity. You will not get any kind of curvature. Okay, any kind of curve you will not get. Here H will be 0. H is 0 means R equal to constant by 0. Something by 0 means infinity. Clear? So here remember this point. So this is a very important point, and from this point you must get any kind of MCQ type question in competitive. Okay, H and R. What will happen to the R when it is decreased by this height? Okay, decreased from this height. Okay, H prime is becoming less than H. H is the height that we can measure using this formula. Okay, H equal to 2s cos theta by r rho g. Using this formula we can measure H. Okay, now if that H prime is measured from the free surface of liquid, from this point, okay, it is measured. So now if H prime is less than H, then what will happen? Okay, then you have to use this concept. Radius of curvature of the meniscus, free surface of liquid meniscus, will go on increasing, and when it is completely deep, then r will be infinity. There will be no curve, no concave, no convex curve when it is completely deep inside the liquid. Clear? So this is one important point. Now come to another important thing. Okay, before that I am erasing this. So now come to another thing, that is when two bubbles coalesce and forms a single bubble, then what will be the radius? What will be the radius? Okay, then what will be the radius? Clear? So two bubble, okay, take anything, water bubble or soap bubble, okay, so two bubbles, okay, of different radius, suppose different radius, one is r1, another is r2. They will coalesce and they will form a single bubble, okay, of radius r. Okay, and if this this phenomena happens under isothermal condition, okay, this phenomena is happening under isothermal condition. If it is happening under isothermal condition, so then we can apply Boyle's law. Okay, Boyle's law means what? Multiplication of pressure and volume will remain constant at isothermal condition. Isothermal means temperature will remain constant. So Boyle's law will be applicable at these two cases. Okay, before coalesce and after coalesce. So before coalesce, pressure is P1, volume is V1, and for the second one P2, V2. And after coalesce, pressure is suppose P, volume is V. Okay, so which pressure will you take here? You will take the excess pressure. Okay, if it is take any bubble, so 2s by r, so 2s by r1. In case of soap bubble, you will write here 4s by r1 into volume means 4 by 3 pi r1 cube plus 2s by r2 into 4 by 3 pi r2 cube equal to final pressure, that means 2s by r into 4 by 3 pi r cube. Clear? So you can take here common what? 2s into 4 pi by 3. Okay, so what will be the remaining term? Here r1 and 3 cancel out, so here 2, and again here r2 and 3 cancel out, so 2. So basically r1 square plus r2 square, and on the right side 2s into 4 pi by 3 into r square. Okay, so this term will be cancelled out on both the sides, so you will get basically capital R equal to, that means the radius of the bigger sphere, okay, that is basically root over r1 square plus r2 square. Okay, so when two bubbles of different radii or two bubbles, okay, in general two bubbles are coalescing with each other, okay, are joining with each other, then we will get a bigger bubble of radius r equal to root over r1 square plus r2 square. Okay, when we will get this thing? When this joining is happening under isothermal condition. Isothermal condition means at constant temperature. Okay, at constant temperature. So at this condition we can apply Boyle's law. Okay, Boyle's law means pressure into volume will remain same. Clear? Clear? So this is one important thing. Another important thing, okay, let me erase this. Suppose two bubbles, this is a smaller bubble and this is a bigger bubble, okay, they are in contact with each other. This is R2 and this is suppose R1, okay. Inside this bubble air is there, inside this bubble also air is there. So when they are in contact, okay, two bubbles of different radii are in contact, then in which direction the air will flow, okay, air inside the bubble will flow from one bubble to another bubble. So in which direction air will flow, okay. So look at here, inside this bubble, if we take it as the air bubble, then the total pressure inside the bubble is P0 plus 2S by R. This is the in general formula. 2S by R is the excess pressure and P0 is the atmospheric pressure, okay. So inside this bubble pressure will be P0 plus 2S by R. If we talk about only excess pressure, then only 2S by R, okay. So this bubble has smaller radius, that means greater pressure. This bubble, greater pressure, okay, and this bubble has bigger radius, so small pressure, okay. So what will happen here? Air will flow due to the pressure difference, okay. So in which direction? From greater pressure to the smaller pressure. So air will flow in this direction. This is the direction of air flow, okay. This is the direction of air flow. Air will flow in this direction. Here pressure will decrease. Pressure will decrease means its size will go on increasing, okay. So pressure will decrease and on this side pressure will increase. Pressure will increase means this one will become smaller, okay. So this is another conceptual thing, that is in which direction air will flow, okay. Come to another question. So another question is, when wax is rubbed on a cloth, cloth becomes waterproof, right? Cloth becomes waterproof. Why? Why? When we rub wax on a cloth, cloth becomes waterproof. Why? So this question can be explained with two concepts, okay. First one I am using force of cohesion and force of adhesion, okay. So when it is not rubbed with wax, the cloth is not rubbed with wax, then what will happen? Then water will wet the cloth, okay. That means force of adhesion. Adhesion means attraction force between different molecules. So between molecules of cloth and water here. So when it is not rubbed with wax, by wax, then the force of adhesion between cloth and water become greater than the force of cohesion between the water molecules, okay. But when it is rubbed with wax, okay, when it is rubbed with wax, then force of cohesion between the water molecules become greater, okay. Force of cohesion between water molecules becomes greater than the force of adhesion between water and cloth, okay, or you can tell water and wax, okay. So first concept is, either you can explain in this way using cohesion and adhesion, okay, otherwise another concept I am coming. So first one, when it is rubbed, then force of cohesion or cohesive force between water molecules is greater than the adhesive force between water and wax, okay. This is one concept. You can use this thing to explain this phenomenon, okay. Another concept is capillary, okay. When wax is not rubbed with cloth, okay, I have told in the capillary rise that if we take any thread of cloth, then inside that thread there are many capillary tubes. Okay, capillary pores are there. Okay, so when wax is rubbed on that cloth, then those capillary pores are completely blocked. Okay, there will be no capillary pores. When wax is rubbed, there will be no capillary pores in the thread. Okay, so when wax is rubbed, then no capillary pores inside the thread of cloth. So when there is no capillary pores, then water cannot rise. Okay, water cannot rise means water cannot wet the cloth. Okay, so these are the two concepts. Either you can use this thing to explain, otherwise you can use the capillary concept to explain this phenomena. Okay, now come to the last question. So students, this is the last question of this lecture. A certain number of spherical drops of a liquid of radius small r coalesce to form a single drop of radius capital R and volume V. If S is the surface tension of liquid, then what will happen to their energy? Okay, so here first of all I want to tell this thing that when a certain number of liquid drop, okay, of smaller radius are coalescing to form a larger drop, then their surface area decreases. Okay, but volume will remain same. Okay, volume will remain same, surface area will decrease. Clear? So here suppose I am taking n number of drops. Okay, n number of drops of radius 4. So what will be the volume? N into 4 by 3 pi r cube. Okay, what will be the final volume? A single drop of radius capital R. So 4 by 3 pi r cube. Okay, volume will remain same. Volume will remain same. Okay, and this is basically capital V. It is given volume V. Clear? Clear? So here what will happen? Free surface area will decrease. Okay, when they are coalescing and forming a bigger radius, a bigger drop, then their surface area will decrease. Okay, surface area will decrease means the surface energy stored at the free surface will also decrease. Okay, so initially larger surface. So larger surface means 4 pi r square. How many surface? In number of surface. Okay, and what will be the surface energy? Into S. Okay, area into surface tension, you will get basically surface energy. Okay, so this is the initial surface energy. Okay, initial surface energy. Basically surface energy means surface tension into change in area. Okay, change in area. So we can write in this way also. Another is final surface energy is S into final area 4 pi r square. Okay, this is final surface energy. Okay, this one is greater because here surface area is greater. So this one is greater than this one. The liquid is converting into this one. Okay, that means what will happen to the extra energy? Extra energy will release into the atmosphere. Okay, so what is the extra energy? This minus this. Okay, so that amount of energy will release. So how much amount of energy will release? So delta E equal to N into 4 pi r square S into S minus 4 pi capital R square into S. Okay, so here what we can do? We have to convert in terms of V. Okay, so we have to bring this term back. This term here and this term for the second term. So how we can do? So take S count first of all. Okay, so here N into, we can do in this way, 4 by 3 pi r cube by r into 3. Okay, clear? For this one N is fine, 4 pi r square, here I have written 4 pi r cube by r by 3 into 3 minus in the same way 4 by 3 pi r cube by r into 3. Okay, so look at here, they are remain basically same. Okay, so take 3 outside, so here this part will not be there and this part will also not be there. Okay, write 1 by r, keep it inside bracket, write 1 by r, and keep it inside bracket, write 1 by capital R. Clear? What is this basically? This bracketed part is basically capital V. Okay, this bracketed part is basically, this one is capital V, this one is capital V. Okay, so V by R minus V by capital R basically. So I am erasing this portion. So what we can get? V by small r minus V by capital R, right? Take V outside, so you will get 3Vs, 1 by R minus 1 by capital R. Okay, so delta is how much? 3 into V, V is volume, S is surface tension, 1 by small r minus 1 by capital R. So this is the extra energy. Okay, so what will happen to this extra energy? It will be released to the atmosphere. It will be released to the atmosphere. Okay, so this amount of energy will be released to the atmosphere. What is the basic concept here? Basic concept is volume will remain same, okay, and surface area will decrease. Okay, when a number of drops are coalescing, joining with each other, then surface area will decrease. Surface area is decreasing means surface energy stored at the free surface of liquid, that one will also decrease. Okay, so what will happen to the extra energy? What the drops was initially, that extra energy will release into the atmosphere. Clear? So these are few things related to surface tension. Okay, so this is the last lecture of surface tension. Okay.